Divine Rising, welcome in. Happy hump day to you. Happy Wednesday, my lovey lovies. How are we feeling? Welcome into the Lotus Life Exchange. Ow! I hope that you are thriving today. I hope that you are ready because, man, I've got some great info for you. I am Monique Christine, the Holistic Health and Wellness Balance Queen, founder of LotusLifeWithMC.com, the Lotus Life by Monique Christine app, and your hostess with the mostest of the newest, hottest talk show, the Lotus Life Exchange. Welcome in. How are we today? Happy Wednesday. It's great to see everyone. I see Tammy's in the building, getting ready to go to the YMCA. Might have to catch the replay today. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you, my love, and I hope that you have a wonderful time at the YMCA today. Yes. Healthy hearts, healthy hearts. All right, let me turn on some of our fun things that we have on the screen so that we can have more engagement around these parts. Let me just get these thingies on. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do that. Let's fill up this screen. There we go. All right, now we can see what's going on. What's up? What's up? So, the comments that you see on the screen, those are from our TikTok live subscribers. If you are vibing out over on YouTube or Twitch, get your buns over to the TikTok room, okay? And make sure you subscribe so that you can be part of the conversation. All right, so I do have a very, very, very action-packed show waiting for you today. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. So, you know that we do talk about all things politics around here, especially as we are moving towards the 2024 general election. And I needed to lay a foundation with you all before I could really get into the meat and potatoes of what I really wanted to talk about, which was Project 2025. Baby, today is the first day we finally get to start to talk about Project 2025, okay? We are going to actually read it. But there is another thing out there known as Agenda 47. So today and tomorrow, I'm going to help you understand the differences between Project 2025 and Agenda 47, who is responsible for them, and then it will make more sense for us as we start reading these things. I think we'll probably read Agenda 47 before we read Project 2025, but I don't know. I haven't made that final decision yet, so we'll get there. But yes, we are finally going to start to take a look at Project 2025, what the difference between that and Agenda 47 are. We're going to talk today about Miss Rona, okay? Miss Rona and the kids, because the kids are going back to school. Yes, COVID-19 and the kids, okay? And we are going to talk about, what are we doing our deep dive on? Today's deep dive, oh baby, we're talking about gluten. Ow! Gluten 101, all right? What you need to know about gluten, what it is, what it does. Is it safe for everyone? Should we all avoid it? Okay, I'm going to answer those questions for you, and I'm going to point you to some goodies, okay? Okie dokie. If you cannot stick around for the whole show, that's okay. You can watch the replay. I recommend that you watch the replay in my app or on my website. I created a program. It's called the Lotus Life Exchange, just like the name of the show. And in this, I have all of the replays plus some bonus resources. Okay. So make sure that you are watching the replay in my app or on my website. Link in the bio if you are watching via TikTok. And if you are hanging out with us over on YouTube or Twitch, use that link that I put into the chat, please. And that will give you everything that you need. You can visit my website, you can get my app, you can come over to TikTok, all the things, okay? All right, let's see who else we have in the building. Melly Mel's in the building. Javaris, Alchemist is here. Yes, he said, get over here, guys. That's right. Get over here. Get your buns in the live room because it's going down today. And then after I give you all of that beautiful info, of course, I'm going to help you bring it down. Today is Wednesday. Wednesdays are associated with the heart chakra. It's all about letting the love flow today, letting your love flow out and opening yourself up to receiving all of the love that is around you. So, today's meditation is a self-compassion visualization. The blanket of love. Ooh, does that not sound so like snuggly good? Hopefully it does to you. It does to me. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. But before we can get into any of that stuff, we got to get our spiritual guidance for the day. Okay? We need to see what in the world is going on, what's floating around in these ethers for us. Okay? Now, if you are vibing out on TikTok and you want to make the screen bigger, then what you're going to want to do is, let me see how to do this, if I can remember. I probably can't do it from this phone because I am like hosting the stream from there. So let me see if I can open it up on my tablet really quickly, just to tell you how to make it full screen, because I know it probably looks pretty little for y'all on the talkie of the Tiki. So let me go into one of my other accounts so I can actually pull up this live. Come on, baby, show me the live. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Oh my gosh, stop. All the pop-ups, girl. Trying to be too helpful. No one asked for all that help. Thank you so much. Okay. So, yes, on the screen, once you are in the live room with us, there should be, maybe it's because I'm on my tablet, there should be a thingy in the, probably the bottom right corner of the screen, I believe. And that should let you make it like full screen, but you'll still see the chat over on the right. So yeah, if you look also in the bottom right corner of the screen, I believe you will see something, you'll see a chat bubble. And if you tap that, it'll get rid of the chat. And then if you want the chat to come back, you'll see a chat bubble with a line through it. Just tap that again, and then that'll bring the chat back over on the side. And then if you want to get out of the full screen mode completely, you'll tap that arrow in the top left corner. Okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's the box in the lower right corner. Cool. Thank you, Tammy. It does look a little different for me. Okay, cool. It's going down like young jock. That's right. It's going down. It is going down. Are you ready? Actually, it's about to go up. We're about to go up. We're about to go up, up, uppity, up, up, up. All the way up. All the way up. So you can see that likes bar above my head. All right, let's see how quickly we can get to our 10K likes. So I appreciate y'all for tapping that screen. You will see some actions pop up in this area around my microphone for people who are tapping, gifting, all that good stuff. And if you want your comments featured on the screen, then you want to become a subscriber. Our subscription is only $3.99 a month. Okay. And I think there's actually a special. So you get your first month of subscription for like $3.49 or something. So boom, you spend way more than that on stuff that's not going to help you. I'm actually going to help you. All right. So speaking of help, let's tap in for our guidance. Oh my goodness, we don't even have the ball of light on. There we go. All right, now we got our ball of light. I'm gonna have to raise it up though, so that we can see it. Okay, so I'll do that tomorrow. I'll have the ball of light in a better position tomorrow. All right, y'all, let's check in. Let's get this guidance and clarity for this particular day. What in the world is going on today? Let me know. For those of you who are my subbies, how are y'all feeling today? Lionsgate portal is closed. Okay. New moon in Leo is done. So are y'all feeling like, woo, thank God, because that was getting exhausting? Or are you feeling like, man, the party's over? How are y'all feeling? Because for me personally, between the Olympics being done and new moon in Leo and Lionsgate portal being done, I'm just like, there's no more party. But there is, because I am the party, as are y'all. Y'all are the party too. Okay, so Mercury retrograde today has entered Leo. Yay! All right, so what does that mean? Well, with Mercury retrograde entering Leo, we are still in Mercury retrograde vibes now through September 7th, okay? Oh my gosh. Our lives are about to get extra dramatic as retrograde Mercury enters the sign of the lion. Ugh. Okay. The summer heat is making it very easy for us to lose our cool and pick fights. Oh no! Courage and stupidity are interchangeable right now. Oh, say it ain't so. So pick your fights with care. So what does that tell me? I will see y'all September 8th. All right, Alchemist said, I'm still pumped, to be honest. The download's been coming. Nice. I love that. Love that, love that, love that. All right, so let's see what's floating around for us today for the collective. What do we need to know to continue moving things forward? Two more heard. Welcome in. I do see Katia Boo tapping that screen. Great to see you, my beautiful light. All right, so kicking things off. Ooh, it's a good message today. We're starting with commitment. We are starting with the bone collector. And we're coming to life, baby. Oh, yeah. We are coming to life. So let me turn that down just a little. Let me turn me up a little bit more. And there we go. All right. So, Boozy Boos, here's what's up. What the guides are offering us first and foremost. It is time for us to be committed to us and what we do, our flow. We're moving in our own perfect divine right timing. This is not about us trying to pressure ourselves to fit someone else's time, schedule, calendar, plans, all of that, okay? What works for you? It's all about your synchronicities, your alignment, okay? Be committed to you and how you do it differently. And also commit yourself to getting out of just going through the motions. Okay? It is time to shake things up. It is time to feel alive. Yes, lean into the transformation. You've been receiving all the downloads, so you know what to do next. If you want to keep the party going, then the way you do that is by taking the action on the downloads that you've been receiving. Okay? So what else is floating around for us in the collective, please? What else do we need to know collectively? What do we need to know collectively? Tell us, please. Tell us, please. Straight facts. Two more heard. There we go. Thank you, Walter Boo. I am always available for private readings. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can book one through my app or through my website. Link in bio. If you're hanging out on YouTube or Twitch, use that link in the chat. All right, Boozy Boos, let's go ahead and get a complete picture here instead of that mini. Let me get a couple more cards. All right, so for the collective today, We need to know that, ooh, yes, this has been very limited energy. You've been holding yourselves back because you feel like look at this. Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups. 4 plus 4 equals 8 of Wands. Interesting. So yes, Four of Pentacles, we've been holding ourselves back. We've been limiting our energy. Okay? Four of Cups, it's because you feel like there's something missing. Oh, I can't go yet. I can't put myself out there yet because there's something missing. I need some permission. I need to be more, learn more, do more, something, something, something. No, baby. No, no. All you need to do is just go full speed ahead. Yes? Yes, because 8 is the number of abundance, especially financial abundance. So can we move our patooties towards that financial abundance, please and thank you? Of course we can, because we can do anything that we want to do. The only limits that we have to worry about are the ones that we impose upon ourselves, and we are limitless souls having a human experience. You better check yourself before you wreck yourself. So then we have Princess of Swords, King of Swords, Ace of Wands. Princess of Swords is like, yo, you know what to do. So just let your truth illuminate your pathway. Think for yourself. This is not about following the crowd. This is about following your guides, following your intuition, following you. King of Swords, it's all about you and your authentic self. This is not time to fake the funk. This is time to be unapologetically you. Period. And to move towards those new ideas, those new inspirations, those new downloads that you have been receiving over the last several weeks, okay? Princess of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and Devil energy. So lean into the things that actually like inspire you and make you feel awake and alive, the things that excite you and ignite your passions, because those are the things that are leading you directly to your maximum stability, especially that financial stability. The one thing that you got to worry about is breaking free from the low level energies that are no longer serving you, that have been holding you back. Okay? So what is it that you need to break free from that's preventing you from being in all of your alignment? That is the question that you want to ask yourself, okay? But to recap for the collective, it is time for us to remain committed, to commit ourselves, to choose to commit ourselves to aligning ourselves completely in every way, getting out of the mundane, just going through the motions, and really plugging into our lives, taking that creative accountability for what's showing up and what's not showing up, getting out of your head, not holding yourself back in any way, shape, or form. Period. I don't care if we still have Mercury retrograde energies. Don't let Mercury retrograde prevent you from being awesome. Because the truth is, nothing can prevent you from being awesome. You're already awesome. It's just if you decide to shut the party down. I'm going to shut all this down. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? We need you. We need your light. Yes? Yes. Illuminate, darlings. Illuminate. There we go. Illuminate. All right, so that is the daily collective. That's what the guides have for us. How are y'all feeling about that? Tammy, sending all of the love, the light, and the prayers to you and your family. I'm going to ask everyone to please lift Tammy and her family up in prayer as one of her grandbabies is fighting cancer. Okay? The beautiful thing is kids are strong. They are resilient. I'm not here to be a Bible thumper. Believe whatever you believe. But for those of us who do believe in God, there's nothing that God cannot do. Every day is a perfect day for a miracle. And so we are just going to lift them up in prayer and joy and anticipation for when we get to celebrate the news, that sweet, sweet sweet, sweet grandbaby has been given a clean bill of health. Absolutely. That is what we are holding space for. Yes? Yes. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see what else is happening in this chat here. Yes, all of the prayers. We love you, Tammy. We love you, love you, love you. Javaris is feeling motivated. Melly Mel is not giving it any more life. Oh no, Melly Mel, what are you not giving any more life to? I didn't see your message. You're not giving it any more life. What are we not feeding anymore? Starve it, girl. Starve it. If it ain't serving you, starve it. I love that reading. That was a great message. It definitely resonates with me, you know? And it is about being present in your life, being present with your loved ones. And even yesterday's meditation talked about being present. And then when we were talking about the 4 steps to mindful eating, and we were talking about, eating at the table, not with your devices and all of that, but really just being present with the people that you live with. Yeah, are we all picking up on that theme for this week? Presence. Presence is key to everything. It truly, truly, truly is. All right. Oh, Melly Mel had a run-in with Ken. Not gonna lie, she lost her temper, but she was definitely going to defend herself. Excellent. You gotta stand up for you. Okay? Learn from it. How can I be better next time? But never, ever, ever apologize for standing up for you. Okay? Because if you don't, who in the world will? Now tell me, who in the world will? Hopefully, other people will come to your rescue, but not always. The homies will not always stand up for you, unfortunately. I got your back, though. I got your back. With a Ken, right? Oh, no, not a Ken. Not a Ken, a needy Ken. Watch the Barbie movie, y'all. Tammy's feeling a lot better, going to the gym to work on her health. Found out arthritis and bursitis. Okay, yeah, bursitis, that inflammation of the joint capsule, essentially. And then arthritis is inflammation of the joint space. So I'm hearing lots and lots of inflammation there. What I would encourage you to take a look at, Tammy, is the anti-inflammatory resources that we have in the library. Tammy is a member of the Lotus Life membership. She has unlimited access to the library. So yeah, I would take a look at anti-inflammatory things to help support your arthritis and your bursitis. Okay. In your knee. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Cool, cool, cool. All right, y'all. Oh, Melly Mel, your sciatica flared up yesterday. No, you need some yin yoga if you've not been moving lately. We got to make sure we are moving our bodies every single day. And the beauty of that yin yoga is it's safe to practice every single solitary day. Yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I've been so wrapped up in my chitty chat that I forgot to switch that over. So boom. Okay, we did the check-in. We did the check-in. Yes, that problem is your number one issue. Okay, yeah. We just got to make sure that we are moving every single day. That's okay, right? Flip it, reverse it. It's fine. Mercury retrograde. Mercury is the planet of communication. So, yay. All right, y'all. Stay hydrated. My mom blessed me with one of her sodas. So, we're enjoying a Canada Dry today. Thanks, Mom. Shout out to the mom. All right. Shout out to the moms all the moms. Thank God for the mamas. What would we do without them? Not have that Canada Dry right now. Okay. It is time. It is time. It is time, my darlings. Oh my gosh. I have been waiting for this. Yes, Melly Mel claiming joy and peace. That's right. Happiness is a choice. Take it. It's yours. It is yours. I love that for you. I love that for all of us. Guess what? Today is the day, y'all. We finally get to start to open the book on Project 2025. You've been here, some of you have been hearing me talk about it for months now, and I told you I wanted to wait until August. August is here. Today is the day. We're getting into it, okay? But before we can do that, we got to make sure that we're crystal clear on some things. So, yes, we are talking about politics. We have a general election coming up November 5th, 2024. 84 days from today, y'all, we are voting for the next president of these United States. Now, the first absentee and mail-in ballots, they are going to be sent out 3 weeks and 2 days from today. Oh my gosh, this is getting really intense. 3 weeks and 2 days from today. So that's in 23 days. The first absentee and mail-in ballots go in the mail. So if you need them, you need to request them immediately. Okay? Because you're running out of time. They're going to start putting those in the mail in 23 days. Early in-person voting begins in 33 days. Okay, there we go. Early in-person voting begins in 33 days, okay? So yes, even though the election day is still more than 80 days off, people are going to be able to start casting their votes within the next month and a couple of days, right? So we need to get cracking and popping and pop locking on this so that you can make those fully informed decisions. Now, make sure that you check your voter registration status, apply for your vote by mail or absentee ballots ASAP, okay? Check with your state to be sure about voting stuff, what you would need for vote by mail or absentee ballots. You can also check your voter registration. Make sure that you have a voting plan. Talk with your family members and friends, especially older voters, to ensure that they have a voting plan as well. And especially if you live in the South, because unfortunately the Republican Party is doing everything in their power to make it more challenging for people to vote. So yeah, just make sure that you know what you need, where your polling places are, if they've closed more polling places, if they've opened some additional ones, okay? And there was one other thing that I wanted to say. I also want you to, let me see, what was it? It had to do with voting. I don't know. It slipped my mind. Hopefully it comes back. But yeah, just go to vote.org. I remember, vote.org. If you recently relocated, if you moved someplace, you need to check with where you moved from and also where you have moved to so that you can see where to vote, okay? I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I'm here to give you information, and I am here to ask you to vote, okay? So please, please, please make sure that you vote. Every single vote counts. Every single voice matters, okay? And if you are a person of color, you need to understand that you haven't even had the right to vote for 100 years yet, okay? President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act into law in 1965, I believe. Let me double check that real quick. It's either 1964 or 1965, you guys. But seriously, it's not been that long. Yeah, it was signed into law August 6th, 1965. So let's not be stuck up snobs about voting. I'll sit this one out. You don't have the luxury. You don't have the luxury. And now you're going to start to understand why. Because, like I said, today is the day that we finally get to take a look at Project 2025. But there's another thing out there, Agenda 47. I don't know if y'all have heard about this. So we're going to take today and tomorrow to get like a bird's eye view of the differences between Project 2020, Project 2025 and Agenda 47. Okay? Before we get there, we're almost there. Let's make sure that we're clear on the candidates who we are potentially voting for. So on the right side of the aisle for the Republicans, we have Donald Trump with his running mate, J.D. Vance. Okay? Trump is running for re-election. He initially ran against Hillary Clinton in 2016, excuse me, and won with Mike Pence as his VP. That didn't end too well. And yeah, Mike Pence is nowhere to be found in the Trumpy camp. But yeah. But now Donnie is running for re-election with J.D. Vance by his side. J.D. Vance is the junior senator from Ohio. I am a proud Ohioan. I live in southwestern Ohio where we actually have some common sense. So let me just put that out there. Okay. Because, girl, I know they keep saying Ohio is a red state, but the only reason why they're saying that is because they were able to get away with a bunch of gerrymandering. And so now it looks like it's a red state. Ohio is not a red state, though. Okay. It's pink. It's more like, it's pink with more blue hues, okay? But this is not a red state, okay? Okay, because number one, we enshrined women's reproductive rights because they tried to pull a fast one on us last summer, so the people of Ohio had to do their due diligence. We'll talk about that stuff in coming weeks. I'm just so passionate about this stuff, like it just falls out of my face. So I'm sorry. I'm going to try not to hop, skip, and jump forward like that. Okay, Tammy, have a beautiful day. I love you so very much. Right? That music got intense there, but this is an intense time because we really truly are voting for our future. And whoever we elect as the next president, they are going to have at least 2 Supreme Court picks, if not 3. So this 2024 general election is going to shape the United States for the next 50 years easily because currently Supreme Court appointments are lifetime appointments. Okay? All right. Cool. So, yes. One thing that I always like to fact check, Donnie likes to say that he beat Obama in a presidential race for the White House. That is not possible because Obama was a 2-term president. And here in the United States, the max amount of terms that you can serve as president now is 2 terms. And it was like that when Obama was president too. Okay? So when people were running for election in 2016, Obama was not Obama. Did I say Obama? Girl. Obama was not eligible for re-election. Okay? So I always like to clear that up. On the left side of the aisle for the Democrats, we have Kamala Harris running for president. She is currently vice president to our current president, Joe Biden. And Auntie Kamala has chosen Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her VP pick. We dove into Tim episode 2 of Lotus Life Exchange. I gave you 55 things to know about J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate. Episode 3, I gave you 55 things to know about Tim Walz, Kamala's running mate. Okay? So Make sure that you are watching the replays so that you can catch up on that stuff, especially those 55 things about them. They are so incredibly telling about what they stand for, how they were raised, where they grew up, all that good stuff. You definitely want to make time to review that, okay? Okay, cool. So, now that we know who in the world we are potentially taking a look at running. Yeah, that's right. My tech totally teched on me. Which one did I want to use? I wanted to use this one. Okay, so we're going to start with Project 2025. What in the world is Project 2025? Well, let Donnie tell it. He doesn't know. He don't know about Project 2025, what it is, where it came from, who's working on it, what is, I don't know, I never, really, there's a, what, well, where is it? Well, who started it? Girl, let me pull these receipts. Y'all ready for these receipts? I know you are. All right, here we go. Let's be clear, Project 2025 is Donald Trump's policy. Let's get into it. Project 2025 is an extensive extreme roadmap for how a new far-right presidential administration can take over the country. Its sweeping policy proposals would affect nearly every facet of American life, from increasing taxes on the middle class to eliminating the U.S. Department of Education to implementing a national abortion ban. Okay? Okay. Yeah. So we're going to start there. Former Pres Don Don has attempted to distance himself from this far-right plan, claiming, I know nothing about Project 2025. I have no idea who is behind that. He's literally been quoted as saying that, okay? At the same time, he claims that he likes some parts of it and does not like others. But given his close ties to the plan's authors and their strikingly similar policy priorities, it is clear that Project 2025 is undeniably a Trump-driven operation and serves as a playbook for institutionalizing Trumpism. Before I go any further, I want to remind you of what the brilliant poet Miss Madame Maya Angelou told us all. When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. Keep that in mind. When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. They are telling us what they plan to do. I hope you are listening. This is not a drill. It's crazy, but it's not a drill. Let's get into it. All right. So, Paul Dans, who until recently was the director of the Project 2025 Presidential Transition Project, that's the official name of it, okay? And he was the White House liaison to the U.S. Office of Personnel Management in the Trump administration. So, the guy who until recently was the director of the Project 2025 project, the Presidential Transitional Project, he was also White House liaison to OPM, the Office of Personnel Management, in the Trump administration. Okay, so he definitely knew Trump because he worked for him. Okay, cool. He calls the plan an instruction manual for a second Trump term. Okay? All right. Americans should take him at his word. This is not a drill. 80% of Project 2025's authors are former Trump administration officials or close advisors. Now, how in the hell does 80% of the gang group gaggle that are putting this thing together work for you? Well, they used to work for you, but you don't know nothing about it. You don't know nothing about it. You don't know who's working on it, where it came from. Y'all know about them coinky dinks, right? We talk about coinky dinks all the time. And what do we say around here? There are none. Zip, zilch, nada. But okay, Don, let's keep going. Girl, we haven't even started to scratch the surface. The hypocrisy that you are going to be exposed to is one of the reasons why we have a meditation segment in our show every day. Because, girl, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So, like I said, 80% of Project 2025's authors are former Trump administration officials or close advisors. And 140 people who worked for President Trump are involved with Project 2025. 140. Okay? Okay, cool. Moreover, the project is vetting extreme Trump loyalists to stack thousands of federal jobs. Oh yeah, they want to get their people in at all the ranks so that they can bring this thing home, baby. They got a whole entire game plan, you guys. If you didn't pay attention during the January 6th hearings, please pay attention now because they've already put together elaborate plans. So you really, really, really want to listen to them. Okay, let's keep going. President Trump is more than aware of those behind Project 2025. He has often spoken positively of Kevin Roberts and the Heritage Foundation, calling them wonderful and highly respected. Ooh. His VP pick, J.D. Vance, was praised by the Heritage Foundation, and he said Heritage would play a major role in a Republican presidency. So J.D. Vance knows who the hell they are. Donnie, you might want to touch base with your boy, because your boy is like, yes, bitch, I know. This is key. JD, I don't think you were supposed to say that for everybody. But okay, let's keep going, girl. All right, Johnny McEntee, the man behind Project 2025's personnel database effort, was President Trump's hand-picked selection to oversee all political appointees from the White House. But again, Donnie doesn't know these people, where this project came from, or anything. Okay. Given that Project 2025 insiders say that President Trump's distancing from the plan is simply a public relations gesture, that's what his own people are saying, it's clear that no matter what the former president says, this extremist movement is driven by him. If elected, he would be in a position to enact it. You better believe it. In fact, he has already attempted to implement key policy components of Project 2025 during his first term, okay, with varying degrees of success. And there is overlap between the plan, Project 2025, and his Agenda 47 campaign policy proposals. We'll take a look at Agenda 47 tomorrow. Today I want to focus more on Project 2025. Okay. But don't worry, we're going to read both in their entirety because we are informed around here. So, but not today. Project 2025 was designed to remove the guardrails that prevented President Trump from enacting his baser instincts and priorities in his first term. Many of his former advisors and cabinet officials, they took the first Trump term's failures as lessons learned when writing their chapters, detailed policy agendas. Folding in the personnel database project to vet Trump loyalists who are open to authoritarian governance addresses the other impediment President Trump faced as president: His own appointees and career public servants who refused to break the law or flout institutional norms when Trump and his diehards gave orders. Okay? So, before, there were people who simply said no. They would not do what he wanted them to do. Thank God for those people who, many of them, were lifelong Republicans, career public servants. And they chose to step down instead of saying yes to what he was doing. But now, this is why he wants to put his own people, his extreme loyalists, into federal jobs at the varying stages, varying levels, so that he won't get that pushback. Okay? All right. This would work in tandem with the policy changes that Project 2025 proposes, such as those for Schedule F, to allow Trump to do whatever he wants. So let's talk about Project 2025 and President Trump's personnel ties. So like I said, many of Project 2025's authors and advisory board members are close Trump allies and advisors. At least 140 people who worked for the Trump administration had a hand in Project 2025. In fact, at least 140 people who worked in the Trump administration had a hand in Project 2025, a CNN review found, including more than half of the people listed as authors, editors, and contributors to Mandate for Leadership, the project's extensive manifesto for overhauling the executive branch. Dozens more who staffed Trump's government hold positions with conservative groups advising Project 2025, including his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and longtime advisor, Stephen Miller. Mark Meadows still don't know how to go somewhere and sit down, girl. They're going to put him under the jail. But he won't be satisfied until that's where he is. So anyways, 81% of Project 2025 authors are tied directly to Trump. All told, of the 38 people responsible for writing and editing Project 2025, 31 out of 38 were appointed or nominated to positions in the Trump administration and transition. In other words, while Trump claims he has nothing to do with the people who created Project 2025, over 81% had formal roles in his first administration. Project 2025 was drafted with extensive input from many of his allies. There is good reason to believe that Trump, if nominated and elected, would find this new set of recommendations even more compelling than he did in his first term. That's because it was drafted with extensive input from many of his allies, advisors, and appointees. Among the groups that contributed are America First Legal, which is led by high-ranking Trump administration officials Stephen Miller and Gene Hamilton; the Conservative Partnership Institute, where Mark Meadows, Trump's last chief of staff, is a senior partner; and the Center for Renewing America, which is led by Russell Vought, the director of the Office of Management and Budget under Trump. Okay? High-ranking Trump administration officials even authored individual chapters of the report, including its recommendations to dramatically restrict abortion access. Yeah. So, several of his top advisors, including Johnny McEntee and Stephen Miller, are drivers of Project 2025. The biggest tell that this is a Trump-driven operation is Johnny McEntee, one of Trump's closest White House aides and his most fervent internal loyalty enforcer, is a senior advisor to Project 2025. Okay. And then one of the most powerful architects is Stephen Miller, a top West Wing advisor for the Trump administration. West Wing, that's the presidential wing. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, cool. Project 2025 director, and he has since stepped down, Paul Dans, he recommended the next president turn to McEntee to confront the deep state, girl. The 47th president must and will confront the deep state and will turn to John McEntee to do so. We're thrilled that he's joining Project 2025's broad coalition of conservatives to ensure the next presidential administration is ready in January 2025. I'm telling you, y'all, unless you can afford to move you and everyone you love, oh my God, excuse me, and everything you love, excuse me, unless you can afford to uproot everyone and everything you love out of the U.S. between now and January 20th, 2025, you need to make sure you cast your vote and that you are voting very carefully and very wisely. All right. So, yep. Trump administration press secretary Caroline Leavitt and key advisor Stephen Miller appeared in Project 2025's Presidential Administration Academy video. Girl, not the video. They're in the training video. Several key former members of the Trump administration are involved with the project, including Stephen Miller, who recently helped Trump with debate prep and acted as a surrogate in the spin room following the CNN presidential debate in Atlanta, and who appears in Project 2025's educational Presidential Administration Academy video, and whose organization, America First Legal, is listed as among its advisory members. The Trump campaign's now National Press Secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is also prominently featured in Project 2025's Presidential Administration Academy video, which the group says is designed to train the next generation of conservative politicians. The video was produced in September 2023 when Leavitt was serving as a spokesperson for pro-Trump super PAC Make America Great Again, Inc., which is a separate entity from the Trump campaign. Leavitt joined the Trump campaign in January of 2024. Okay? So, as much as Donnie wants to say he doesn't know Project 2025, where it came from, who these creators are, I agree with some parts of it, not other parts. I don't know how believable that is. Let's keep going, though. That's not all the receipts. A former White House advisor to Vice President Mike Pence said that President Trump's attempt to distance himself from Project 2025 was preposterous. Yowza, this is preposterous. If you look at the collaborators and the authors of this plan, a lot of these people served in Trump's cabinet during his administration. There are people that I worked with. I sat in those policy meetings with them. This was quoted by a woman, Olivia Troy, is the one who was quoted as saying this. Okay? She told that to The Guardian last month, July 8th. Okay? So, yeah, that was just last month. 29 of the 36 speakers in Project 2025 training videos leaked to ProPublica worked for President Trump on his transition, administration, or his 2024 campaign. 29 of the 36 speakers in Project 2025 was working with your boy at some point, and he still don't know where it's coming from. Okay, all right. A review of the training videos shows that 29 of the 36 speakers have worked for Trump in some capacity on his 2016-17 transition team, in the administration, or on his 2024 re-election campaign. The speakers in the Project 2025 videos are careful not to explicitly side with Trump or talk about what a future Trump administration might do. They instead refer to a future conservative president or conservative administration. But the links between the speakers in the videos and Trump are many. Most of those served Trump during his admin, working at the White House, the National Security Council, NASA, the Office of Management and Budget, USAID, and the Departments of Justice, Interior, State, Homeland Security, Transportation, and Health and Human Services. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Another speaker has worked in the Senate office of J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate. Yeah. Sullivan, the former DOJ acting assistant attorney general in charge of the department's Office of Justice programs, which oversees billions of dollars in grant funding, appears in 3 different videos. He's already in the government, girl. Yeah. Problem. Leavitt, Caroline Leavitt, who is in a training video titled The Art of Professionalism. She worked in the White House press office during Trump's first presidency and is now the national press secretary for his re-election campaign. President Trump and J.D. Vance have strong relationships with the Heritage Foundation, which organized Project 2025. Remember, J.D. was like, oh yeah, Heritage, they're going to be key. Yeah, let's talk about that. So in April of 2022, Donnie shared a private flight with Kevin Roberts, the new director of Project 2025 and president of the Heritage Foundation. In April 2022, Trump shared a 45-minute private flight with Heritage Foundation president Kevin Roberts. They flew together to a Heritage conference where Trump delivered a keynote address that gestured to Heritage's forthcoming policy proposals. Oh, so you on flights with the guy and you're speaking there, but you don't know nothing about it? Okay, Donnie, cool. Let's keep going. Not cool, but let's keep going anyway. In an April 2023 speech, so that was back in April 2022. Fast forward a year to April 2023, J.D. Vance said the Heritage Foundation would play a major role in a Republican presidency. He stated, the Heritage Foundation is going to play a major role in helping us figure out how to govern at the White House, at the Senate, at the House, and all across our great country. And his speech, JD's speech, took place one day before Project 2025's policy proposals were unveiled. Girl, if they were actually slick, we'd be in trouble, y'all. For real, for real. J.D. Vance and Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts are good friends. Oh, okay. The Associated Press, the AP, reported that Roberts said he and J.D. Vance are good friends and that the Heritage Foundation had been hoping for a Vance nomination, though it did not endorse him publicly before the announcement. Kevin Roberts also said that J.D. Vance has been a champion for the Heritage Foundation and is going to be one of the leaders of the movement. Okay. Vance has been a key champion of Roberts' efforts to turn the Heritage Foundation into the de facto institutional home of Trumpism. Yeah. Where Roberts said the senator is absolutely going to be one of the leaders, if not the leader, of our movement. Okay. JD said he was thrilled to write the foreword. JD was thrilled to write the foreword to Dawn's Early Light, a book about Project 2025 architect Kevin Roberts' manifesto for a far-right government takeover. If you're just joining us, we are talking about Project 2025's connection with Donald Trump, even though he continues to say day in and day out he doesn't know where Project 2025 came from. He's not associated with it. He doesn't know anyone who's working on it. We've already sussed out that 80% of the people who are working on Project 2025 worked directly for Trump at some point. Okay, his administration. Okay, so let's keep going. Yes, JD said that he was thrilled to write the foreword for Kevin's book, Dawn's Early Light. I was thrilled to write the foreword for this incredible book, which contains a bold new vision for the future of conservatism in America. JD's editorial review of Dawn's Early Light calls his ideas an essential weapon for the future of conservatism. Never before has a figure with Robert's depth and stature within the American right tried to articulate a genuinely new future for conservatism. We are now all realizing that it's time to circle the wagons and load the muskets. Because, again, they keep on talking about 1776. When people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. Okay. In the fights that lay ahead, these ideas are an essential weapon. That's what J.D. Vance said. Heritage President Kevin Roberts calls J.D. Vance a man who personifies hope of our nation's future and said the organization was rooting for him to be the VP pick. Vance, however, openly has close ties with the Heritage Foundation and its founder, Kevin Roberts, who told reporters the organization was privately really rooting for Vance to be the VP pick, and they praised him on X as a man who personifies hope for our nation's future. Girl, y'all better go back to episode 2 of Lotus Life Exchange. Scrub through and find where I take you through 55 things to know about J.D. Vance. Episode 2. You're welcome. Okay. President Trump on Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, said he's going to be so incredible. Trump gave the keynote address at the Heritage Foundation's annual leadership conference in April 2022. Okay. Just a few months after Roberts took over leading that organization. The Heritage Foundation is responsible for creating Project 2025. Okay? All right. He's going to be so incredible, Trump said of Roberts. I know that for a fact because I know what he did and where he came from, and he's going to be outstanding. And congratulations to his very exciting new role and a very important role. President Trump said working closely with Heritage was a winning formula, and we're going to work on some other things that are going to be very exciting. So in that same 2022 keynote, Trump said, already we've shown the power of our winning formula, working closely with many of the great people at Heritage over the 4 incredible years that we've worked with you a lot. And we were just discussing it with Kevin. We're going to work on some other things that are going to be very exciting. I think Kevin and I think maybe the most exciting of all. Yeah, okay. Heritage's new president aligned the organization more closely with the Trump wing of the party. Heritage is not institutionally tied to Trump, but under its new president, Kevin Roberts, the organization appears to be moving closer than any previous iteration of Heritage in allying itself with the Trumpian America First wing of the Republican Party. Roberts has developed a closer personal relationship with Trump than his predecessor did. Trump even visited Amelia Island in Florida to speak to Heritage's annual leadership conference in April. In addition to back in 2022. In addition to courting Trump, Roberts has also opened his door to the new right. Individuals and organizations whose views differ dramatically from many of the Bush-era conservative policies that Heritage has traditionally supported. In an interview with Michelle Tafoya, Kevin Roberts said that their relationship with President Trump remains very good. Ooh, okay. Well, on one level, it's good that President Trump and his campaign distance his campaign from anything else, right? I mean, they're trying to win an election. Our relationship with Mr. Trump and his advisors remains very good. Okay. That was earlier this month. That was August 8th of this month that Kevin said that. Okay. So he's still vibing with Trumpy Dumpy. Don't fall for the okie doke. Okay, let's keep going. Project 2025's directors have said that Trump is well aware of their agenda. The Heritage Foundation previously bragged about how the Trump administration embraced the predecessor to Project 2025. In a January 2018 blog post, the Heritage Foundation bragged, 1 year after taking office, President Donald Trump and his administration have embraced nearly 2/3 of the policy recommendations from the Heritage Foundation's mandate for leadership. Well, damn. You guys probably all need to get on the same page because I don't think you were supposed to tell everybody that. Dan's said Project 2025 is really going to be the engine room for the next administration. But Dan's confirmed his team has ongoing connections with the Trump campaign. We have integration with folks on the campaign. The reality is we often supply ideas and ultimately we hope to offer personnel suggestions. This is really going to be the engine room for the next administration. Many of these folks served and will be called upon to serve again. Woo. Okay. Project 2025 Director Paul Dans, who was President Trump's White House liaison to the Office of Personnel Management and its Chief of Staff, said President Trump is very bought in with Project 2025. Paul Dans told a right-wing podcast last year that his group has a great relationship with Donnie, and Trump's very bought in with this. Now, his comments fly in the face of Trump's recent attempts to distance himself from Project 2025. Dans says that Project 2025 is the instruction manual, quoted as saying, "This is the instruction manual for a second Trump administration," and that it was constructed by many who came right out of the Trump admin. We need a big picture vision, and Donald Trump sets that forth, but we also kind of need the actual instruction manual, how to get things done, and that takes time to figure out. We constructively came together before anyone was running for president, many of us right out of the Trump admin. You know, I was only in politics because I'm a Trump. I'm a forever Trumper, not a never Trumper, a forever, if you will. Okay. Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, sees Project 2025 as institutionalizing Trumpism. Now he's looking ahead to the 2024 election and beyond. Roberts told me that he views Heritage's role today as institutionalizing Trumpism. This includes leading Project 2025, a transition blueprint that outlines a plan to consolidate power in the executive branch, dismantle federal agencies, and recruit and vet government employees to free the next Republican president from a system that Roberts views as stacked against conservative power. Girl, that's called cheating. That's called rigging. Okay? Okay. Kevin Roberts, the new director of Project 2025 and president of the Heritage Foundation, says he personally discussed Project 2025 with Trump. Oh, girl. Roberts told the Washington Post in an interview in April of this year that he had previously discussed Project 2025 with Trump as part of offering briefings to all presidential candidates. I personally have talked to President Trump about Project 2025, he said in the interview, because my role in the project has been to make sure that all of the candidates who have responded to our offer for a briefing on Project 2025 get one from me. Okay. So what about so that's the personnel ties, okay? So now let's talk about Project 2025 and Trump policy ties, because it's undeniable that Trumpy Dumpy knows who has been working on this manual. Okay? Some skeptics say that even if Trump has connections to Project 2025, he would never actually try to implement its policies. Even Trump's campaign chiefs greatly welcomed its demise. Yet much of the agenda outlined in Project 2025 was attempted or partially achieved by the Trump administration while he was president. Key components of Project 2025 are designed to allow President Trump to do many of the extreme things he tried to do as president, but was prevented by luck, advisors refusing to carry out illegal orders, or institutional guardrails. And key parts of Project 2025 are front and center in Project Trump's own Agenda 47 videos, where he outlines what he would do if he took office again. So that's why we're talking about Project 2025 and Agenda 47. But today we're focused on doing some fact checking around Project 2025, and Donnie saying he has no affiliation with it whatsoever. He doesn't know who's been working on it, where it came from. He agrees with some parts, but not other parts. Okay? All right, so let's start with the checks and balances. First, implement Schedule F to purge insufficiently loyal public servants. Project 2025 specifically calls for the reinstatement of the Trump administration's Schedule F executive order, which will make it easier to fire civil servants and experts who do not politically align with Trump and replace them with sycophants. The Trump administration issued Executive Order 13957 to make career professionals in positions that are not normally subject to change as a result of a presidential transition, but who discharge significant duties and exercise significant discretion in formulating and implementing executive branch policy and programs, an exception to the competitive hiring rules and examinations for career positions under a new Schedule F. The order was subsequently reversed by President Biden at the demand of the civil service associations and unions. It should be reinstated, but SES responsibility should come first. Well, there's that. President Trump's Agenda 47 promised to reestablish Schedule F, making it easier to fire rogue bureaucrats. Here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Donnie said that himself on his own website, March 21st of 2023. Okay? All right, cool. So there's that one. How about targeting political enemies? Well, Project 2025 would overhaul the U.S. Department of Justice to allow the president to target political enemies with enforcement actions. The chapter on the Department of Justice, or DOJ, proposes overhauling the agency to eliminate its long-standing tradition of political insulation from the White House. In theory, this insulation follows from the idea that the job of the DOJ's head, which is the Attorney General, is to represent the U.S. government and not the president. Institutional mechanisms have been used to ensure the agency's independence and to guard against both the perception and reality of conflicts of interest, including, most notably, the use of a special counsel to investigate and prosecute the president or certain administration officials. As was demonstrated during the first Trump term, though, the actual independence of a special counsel can be limited. Mandate would seek to further degrade the DOJ's independence by injecting greater presidential control into questions of litigation strategy, even raising the disturbing specter of the president targeting political enemies with enforcement actions. Project 2025 says that all litigation decisions must be made consistent with the president's agenda, even admitting that this will force attorneys into uncomfortable positions. Excuse me, what? While the supervision of litigation is a DOJ responsibility, the department litigation is like lawsuits when you sue somebody, okay? All right. Okay. So while the supervision of litigation is a DOJ responsibility, the department falls under the direct supervision and control of the President of the United States as a component of the executive branch. Thus, and putting aside criminal prosecutions that can warrant different treatment, litigation decisions must be made consistent with the President's agenda. This can force line attorneys to take uncomfortable positions in civil cases because those positions are more closely aligned with the President's policy agenda. Whew. Okay. All right. President Trump told his White House counsel he wanted to order the Justice Department to prosecute former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and FBI Director James Comey. President Trump told the White House counsel in the spring that he wanted to order the Justice Department to prosecute two of his political adversaries, his 2016 challenger Hillary Clinton and the former FBI Director James Comey, according to two people familiar with the convo. The lawyer, Don McGahn, said no, saying he had no authority to order a prosecution. McGahn said while he could request an investigation, that too could prompt accusations of abuse of power. To underscore his point, Don McGahn had White House lawyers write a memo for Trump warning that if he asked law enforcement to investigate his rivals, he could face a range of consequences, including possible impeachment. The encounter was one of the most blatant examples yet of how Mr. Trump views the typically independent Justice Department as a tool to be wielded against his political enemies. President Trump's Agenda 47 promises to press criminal charges against government leakers who collude with fake news to subvert our government and our democracy. Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. What did that girl just say, girl? Okay, let's keep going. Project 2025 vows to prosecute local officials, including district attorneys, for refusing to prosecute criminal offenses in their jurisdictions. Where warranted and proper under federal law, initiate legal action against local officials, including district attorneys who deny American citizens the equal protection of the laws by refusing to prosecute criminal offenses in their jurisdictions. This holds true particularly for jurisdictions that refuse to enforce the law against criminals based on the left's favored defining characteristics of the would-be offender, like their race, their so-called gender identity, their sexual orientation, etc., or other political considerations like their immigration status. Don't worry. Like I said, we're going to read Project 2025 in its entirety. We just want to take a look at how this really is Trump's policy. We're also going to take a look at Agenda 47. Okay? But we're just connecting dots. All right. So President Trump's Agenda 47 promises to go after radical Marxist prosecutors. Third, we will go after the radical Marxist prosecutors who are abolishing cash bail, refusing to charge crimes, and surrendering our cities to violent criminals. They have surrendered like never before. I will direct the DOJ to open civil rights investigations into radical left prosecutors' offices, such as those in Chicago, LA, and San Francisco, to determine whether they have illegally engaged in race-based enforcement of the law. You better say it, Donnie. What about education? Well, they want to eliminate the U.S. Department of Education. I'm not kidding. None of this is a joke, okay? I'm just trying to make it not so terrifying, but this is really their plan. Project 2025. The Federal Department of Education should be eliminated. Federal education policy should be limited, and ultimately the Federal Department of Education should be eliminated. When power is exercised, it should empower students and families, not government. Right? Like, what you mean? Get rid of the Department of Education. Okay. So, President Trump tried to merge the education and labor departments after promising to eliminate the education department. The Trump administration, back in 2018, released a proposal to reform the federal government. One of President Trump's proposals is to merge the Department of Education with the Department of Labor. Girl, no. Excuse me. What motivates Trump to reduce the status of the Federal Department of Education? Republicans have opposed the Department of Education's existence since its establishment in 1979. Recently, Republican voters' backlash against the Common Core state standards has reignited the Republican Party's efforts to reduce the federal government's role in education. In the 2016 presidential election, then candidate Trump campaigned to terminate Common Core and the Department of Education to restore local control in education. So you just want everyone in America to be stupid. Okay? Why would they want everyone in America to be stupid? Because those who know their history, those who don't know their history are condemned to repeat it. This is why they are whitewashing history, saying that melanated people benefited from slavery. This is why they don't want to teach African American history in school at all. And they're defunding African American history. For the schools, there are schools who will still teach it. They will still offer it, but they will not pay the teachers who are teaching it. You can't even make this stuff up, y'all. This is real. Pay attention. Okay, so yeah, he tried to merge those two, blah, blah, blah. So his Agenda 47, Trump's Agenda 47, promises to close the Department of Education, sending educational decisions back to the states. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up. All those buildings all over the place, and yet people that in many cases hate our children, we're going to send it all back to the states. Excuse me, are we talking about some of the states where they don't believe that people of a certain skin tone should be able to be educated? Oh. Or people of a certain gender shouldn't be able to learn? Oh. Okay. I was just checking. What about climate, energy, and infrastructure? Well, scrap clean energy tax credits from the Inflation Reduction Act. Project 2025 proposes to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act and the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. Support repeal of massive spending bills like the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and Inflation Reduction Act, which established new programs and are providing hundreds of billions of dollars in subsidies to renewable energy developers, their investors, and special interests, and support the rescinding of all funds not already spent by these programs. Excuse me, are we talking about taking away the money that's helping with the clean energy from Mother Earth, who's obviously mad and continuing to heat up, and it's not getting any better? And West Nile and other things, including dengue fever, are spreading because the planet is warming? Oh, okay. Still just checking. Project 2025 also said the next administration should push for legislation to fully repeal subsidies in the tax code, including dozens of tax credits and breaks for green companies in Subtitle D of the IRA. Yeah, girl, yeah. It's the part about him opening civil rights cases in regard to that. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. Okay, so the next administration should also push for legislation to fully repeal recently passed subsidies in the tax code, including the dozens of credits and tax breaks for green energy companies in Subtitle D of the Inflation Reduction Act. President Trump's advisors said the IRA would be in his crosshairs, the Inflation Reduction Act. Donald Trump is planning to gut U.S. President Joe Biden's landmark climate law, increase investment in fossil fuels, and roll back regulations aimed at accelerating the transition to electric vehicles if he is elected. Senior campaign officials and advisors to the former prez said he would seek to radically overhaul U.S. climate and energy policy to maximize fossil fuel production during a second term. Fossil fuel production is why we have a hole in the ozone layer. This is why climate change is a real thing, because of all of the fossil fuels being burned. Coal, oil, all that stuff. Not good for our planet. And just because these guys are in their 70s and 80s, they're rolling on out, I don't think that should give them the right to just burn up Earth for future generations and make it so that there are no future generations on Earth. But at this rate, I mean, there's not going to be any future generations anyway. So let's keep going. Let's keep going, right? Is it time to meditate yet? Not yet. Almost. Almost, y'all. But we got to get through this. Okay, so, yeah. They added that the Inflation Reduction Act, the centerpiece of Biden's economic strategy, with $369 billion in tax breaks and subsidies for clean energy, would be in Trump's crosshairs. Some of the price tags involved with some of these credits seem to be wildly understated. We'd be looking to cut a lot of that spending. Trump has made no secret of his opposition to the IRA, which he has described as the biggest tax hike in history, or his antipathy towards green energy. Trump would work with congressional leaders to curtail what has been called the socialist big government IRA, scrap fuel economy standards for cars, and end the war on American energy. Okay. All right. What about NOAA? Girl, NOAA does the Santa tracker every year. Y'all ever do the Santa tracker? That is the NOAA. They do more than just that. But if you ever turn that on for your kids, which is so freaking cute, we always turn it on. Not just for Luke, but we want to know where in the world Santa is. They want to dismantle the NOAA. Project 2025 wants to cut off weather, ocean, and climate data by disbanding the NOAA, ending free weather reports. The NOAA is the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. Project 2025 says that it should be dismantled and many of its functions eliminated, sent to other agencies, privatized, or placed under the control of states and territories. What? Okay. Let's keep going. Trump's nomination to lead NOAA was the CEO of AccuWeather and previously supported a bill prohibiting NOAA from offering products that could be provided by the private sector. Interesting. Girl. But in 2005, AccuWeather CEO Barry Myers supported a widely panned bill which would have prohibited the Weather Service from offering a product or service that is or could be provided by the private sector, a provision that would have benefited companies like AccuWeather. He wanted the Weather Service to return to its core mission, which is protecting other people's lives and property, rather than spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year every day producing forecasts of warm and sunny. So we're not going to have no weather reports unless you pay for it. So you don't get to know the weather for free. Oh, okay. Yeah, because we don't need to know the weather ever. All right. They also want to maximize drilling, mining, and logging on public lands. Right? Really? Yes, really. The authors of Project 2025 state that there should be robust oil and gas leases on and offshore, boosting drilling across northern Alaska, and call for cutting the royalties fossil fuel companies pay to drill on public lands and quickening oil and gas permitting, among other measures. Pendley's blueprint for Trump, that's a tongue twister, if he should win in November, includes holding robust oil and gas lease sales on and offshore, boosting drilling across northern Alaska, slashing the royalties that fossil fuel companies pay to drill on federal lands, expediting oil and gas permitting, and rescinding Biden-era rules aimed at protecting endangered species and limiting methane pollution from oil and gas operations. We don't need air. We don't need water. We don't need earth. We don't need the glaciers. We don't need ice. We don't need none of it. We don't need it. I don't know where we're going to live. I don't know that we're going to be able to live. But we don't need it. Oh, that's right. Elon's going to take us to Mars. Elon, with the electric vehicles that you want to make moves away from, but now we supposed to go to Mars. How we going to get there? The Space Force, are they going to take us? By the way, Space Force is a hilarious show on Netflix with Steve Carell. If you've not watched it, I don't know what you're waiting for. John Malkovich is in it too. You're welcome. Okay, let's keep going. Yep. Yeah, that's right. We don't need air or water. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Trump administration took a meat cleaver to public lands. Under Donald Trump, the government has auctioned off millions of acres of public lands to the fossil fuel industry. The Guardian can reveal in the most comprehensive accounting to date, in the most comprehensive accounting to date of how much public land the administration has handed over to oil and gas drillers over the past 4 years. The lobbyist-filled Trump administration didn't just carve and cut corners for these oil-funded front groups. It gleefully took a meat cleaver to our national monuments and land protections. What about abortion? Let's talk about that. We'll talk about childcare and then we'll let that be that. I need to run to the restroom though because my liquids just kicked in. So I'm going to take a quick potty break and I will be right back. Okay? Okay. So this is a great time to take a potty break, get some water, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back. Let's do these. All right, we are back. Let me come back. Let me come back. I'm backity back. Okay, y'all. I was just looking at the clock. Yeah. So what we're going to do after we finish going through the Project 2025 stuff, we'll do our meditation and then I'll lovingly release you. I know this is a lot of information. I know we may be feeling triggered, stressed, anxious, all of the things. So I think that that's going to be a great thing to do. And Friday, we'll probably get back to the other health and wellness things that I wanted to talk to you about. It's really important that we talk about Project 2025 and Agenda 47. And because we're still going to read those, I don't want to overload these sessions, okay? And I don't want to break stuff up too much. So we're almost done with this. Let's finish this and then we'll do our meditation, okay? And then we'll come back tomorrow. We'll talk about Agenda 47 and then we can like not spend so much time each stream talking about the political stuff, but this is really, really, really important, okay? Okay, so let's keep going. Now we're going to take a look at abortion. All right. So the first thing they want to do, they want to allow providers to refuse care for abortion and contraception. Project 2025 pushed the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Hey, listen, it's my delight. Thank you for appreciating my sincerity. I appreciate your time and your energy. And this could easily turn into a 4-hour stream. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to make sure that we cover this stuff and then we'll totally woo-saw. And then we'll get back to it tomorrow. Okay, so Project 2025 pushed the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Civil Rights to withdraw their pharmacy abortion mandate guidance. OCR should withdraw its pharmacy abortion mandate guidance. OCR should withdraw its obligations under federal civil rights laws to ensure access to comprehensive reproduction health care services guidance for retail pharmacies, which purports to address non-discrimination obligations of pharmacies under federal civil rights laws, and in fact orders them to stock and dispense first trimester abortion drugs. Medications, I should say. The guidance invents this so-called requirement and fails to acknowledge that pharmacies and pharmacists have the right not to participate in abortions, including pill-induced abortions, if doing so would violate their sincere, moral, or religious objections. Moreover, no federal civil rights laws preempt state pro-life statutes. Good and thee by. Get all the way out. Whatever the pharmacist believes personally should have nothing to do with what I'm doing with my life personally. Okay? So no, I don't need judgy pharmacist Al to decide that I don't deserve access to these medications. It's none of his business. And as our soon-to-be Vice President Tim Walz said, mind your own damn business. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. President Trump pushed and partially succeeded in carving exemptions to the Affordable Care Act's contraceptive mandate while he was president. In Trump's first year in office, federal agencies weakened the ACA's contraceptive mandate, allowing employers to deny birth control coverage if they had a religious or moral objection. It's none of their business. Though the rollback was quickly tied up in the courts, dozens of employers signed separate settlements with the administration, allowing them to refuse to cover birth control. Meanwhile, the Trump administration took aim at other federal programs designed to promote reproductive health and access to birth control, including Title X, which funds services like contraceptive counseling and cervical cancer screenings for low-income Americans. Then, in the midst of the pandemic, the Supreme Court dealt another blow to birth control access. The justices upheld the administration's rollback of the ACA contraceptive mandate in July, a ruling that could mean the loss of contraceptive coverage for 126,000 American workers. Okay? That was back in 2020, y'all. In his first term, President Trump swiftly passed regulations to allow any employer to request an exemption to covering birth control. Regulations released by the Trump administration back in 2017 could jeopardize access to a medication that millions of Americans take every day and that saves countless lives every year. By allowing any employer to request a religious or moral exemption to the birth control coverage mandate established under President Barack Obama, the Trump administration is limiting access to one of the most common forms of life-saving medication available today. Okay. They also want to ban abortion. Project 2025 urged the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, to stop promoting or approving mail-order abortions in violation of long-standing federal laws that prohibit the mailing and interstate carriage of abortion medications, which is an effective ban on medication abortion. This statement's citation is to U.S. Code 1461. These statutes make up the Comstock Act, an anti-obscenity law passed in 1873 that has never been used to prosecute anyone over abortion, but the mandate aims misapply the law to criminalize the mailing of items related to abortion in the mail. President Trump told advisors and allies he liked the idea of a 16-week national abortion ban with 3 exceptions. Former Pres DJ Trump has told advisors and allies that he likes the idea of a 16-week national abortion ban, with 3 exceptions: in cases of grape or incesticums, or to save the life of the mother, according to 2 people with direct knowledge of his deliberations. He said as a candidate that there has to be some form of punishment. He said as a candidate that, and I quote, there has to be some form of punishment for women who get abortions. Why? Why does that have to happen? The statement came as Mr. Trump appeared at a town hall-style forum with Chris Matthews of MSNBC, recorded for broadcast. Mr. Matthews pressed Mr. Trump, who once supported abortion rights, on his calls to ban the procedure, asking how he might enforce such a restriction. You go back to a position like they had where they would perhaps go to illegal places, Mr. Trump said. But you have to ban it. There has to be some form of punishment. That was back in 2016. Trump appointed justices to the Supreme Court who overturned Roe after explicitly promising this would be a criterion for their appointments. President Trump, who nominated Neil Gorsuch, to the court, had vowed during the campaign to nominate a judge who would help overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark 1973 abortion rights decision. During the final presidential debate, Trump was asked if he wanted to see the Supreme Court overturn that decision. Well, if we put another 2 or perhaps 3 justices on, that's really what's going to be. That will happen. And that'll happen automatically, in my opinion, because I am putting pro-life justices on the court. I will say this, it will go back to the states, and the states will then make a determination. He told us that in 2017, y'all. Okay, cool. They want to punish states and health insurance customers that have plans to cover abortions. Project 2025 called for the withdrawal of up to 10% of Medicaid funds for states that require insurance for abortion in private insurance plans. Withdraw Medicaid funds for states that require abortion insurance or that discriminate in violation of the Weldon Amendment. The Weldon Amendment declares that no HHS, Health and Human Services, no HHS funding may go to a state or local government that discriminates against pro-life health entities or insurers. In blatant violation of this law, 7 states require abortion coverage in private health insurance plans, and HHS continues to fund those states. HHS under President Trump disallowed $200 million in Medicaid funding from California because of the state's flouting of the law, but the Biden administration restored it. HHS and CMS, so HHS, Health and Human Services, CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I know this because I studied health information systems technology in college before I switched my major over to complementary and alternative health. Okay? Craziness. So, yes. HHS and CMS should withdraw appropriated funding up to and including 10% of Medicaid funds from states that require abortion insurance coverage. DOJ should commit to litigating the defense of those funding decisions promptly to the Supreme Court in order to maximize HHS's ability to withdraw funds from entities that violate the Weldon Amendment. Okay. The Trump administration threatened to strip federal funding from California over its requirement for private insurers to cover abortions. The Trump administration on Friday back in 2020, so the Trump administration back in 2020, threatened to withhold federal funding from California over its requirement that private insurers cover abortions. A move that California officials immediately denounced as a cheap political shot on the day the president was addressing the annual March for Life rally. Top Trump health officials said California had 30 days to stop the alleged violation, but did not specify what funds it would withhold or on what timeline it would act. They said their announcement serves as warning to other states with similar requirements, but declined to identify which, if any, of those states might be targeted. Trumpy Dumpy's first administration tried to force insurance companies to separate bill coverage for abortion services, which means 2 separate transactions for customers. That's always great. In late December 2019, the Trump administration released the new rule that would force insurance companies to force insurance companies that sell plans in the Affordable Care Act individual marketplaces to separately bill and instruct customers to separately pay for coverage of abortion services. This means insurance companies will have to send 2 separate bills to each customer. One for the coverage of abortion care and another for coverage of all other health care. Now we got to get 2 bills. They will also have to instruct their customers to pay the bills using 2 separate transactions. Because we love that. Oh, we love the separate transactions. In other words, each consumer will have to send 2 checks or 2 money orders or complete 2 separate online transactions. Ain't nobody got time for that. Again, mind your own damn business. They also want to make it harder to access mifepristone. Project 2025 would reverse the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, their approval of chemical abortion medications. FDA should therefore reverse its approval of chemical abortion drugs because the politicized approval process was illegal from the start. President Trump's FDA required people seeking mifepristone to pick up medicine or sign a form in person, even after they had been evaluated by a clinician. In its first ruling on abortion with Justice Amy Coney Barrett on the bench, the Supreme Court today reinstated a federal policy that requires patients seeking a medication used for early abortion care to incur unnecessary COVID-19 risks by traveling to a health center for the sole purpose of picking up a pill and signing a form. The U.S. FDA policy requires patients seeking mifepristone to pick up the pill in person at a hospital, clinic, or medical office, even when the patient has already been evaluated by a clinician using telehealth or at a prior in-person visit, and will be receiving no medical services at the time. Okay, well, what do you say we talk about childcare? Woo, yes, it keeps going. They want to cut Head Start. Project 2025 argued the federal Head Start program should be eliminated, along with the entire office of Head Start. Eliminate the Head Start program. Head Start, originally established and funded to, listen to this part, this is crazy. This is the verbiage from Project 2025 around Head Start. Eliminate the Head Start program. Head Start, originally established and funded to support Low income families, which is true, is fraught with scandal and abuse. With a budget of more than $11 billion, the program should function to protect and educate minors. Sadly, it has done exactly the opposite. In fact, approximately 1 in 4 grant recipients had incidents in which children were abused, left unsupervised, or released to an unauthorized person between October 2015 and May 2020. Research has demonstrated that federal Head Start centers, which provide preschool care to children from low-income families, have little or no long-term academic value for children. Let me read that to you again. This is what they're saying, which is not true, but this is what they're saying. Research has demonstrated that federal Head Start centers, which provide preschool care to children from low-income families, have little or no long-term academic value for children. Those brown babies don't need to learn. It ain't gonna help them later, because we're gonna send them all to prison. Or we're going to draft them all to the military, because we're bringing back the draft, baby. We'll get there. Yes, we'll get there, girl. It's sad that we're even going to get there, but we will get there. As far as talking about it, hopefully we're going to do what we need to do so in November or before then, so that it doesn't get there. Okay? Yeah. Women want to have babies and no childcare. Exactly. So we're going to make the women have the babies. Okay? You have no choice. You have to have the baby, but you don't get no childcare whatsoever. And we're not going to give you common sense pew-pew laws to keep the babies safe in school. You have to have them. But after that, you're on your own. Yep. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we all understood that part. Yeah. Let me see. Where was I? Yep. Little or no long-term academic value for children. Given its unaddressed crisis of rampant abuse and lack of positive outcomes, this program should be eliminated along with the entire OHS. At the very least, the program's COVID-19 vaccine and mask requirements should be rescinded. Infect those babies. If you're going to teach them, infect them. What? Why are y'all so angry at everybody? You mad at the babies? You mad at the women? You mad at Mother Earth? You mad at the people who want to recycle? You mad at the electric vehicle people? You mad at the people in the labor unions? Y'all mad at everybody. You mad. For no reason. Let's see. Javaris Alchemist shared, my mom used to work at Head Start. She would be shaking her head right now. Exactly. Melly Mel said, I didn't get a voucher for childcare until I moved to Arkansas. Florida had the longest wait list for childcare vouchers. Exactly. And Florida is run by GOP Governor Ron DeSantis. Yeah. You would think that he would actually want his people to be healthy, educated. No, he doesn't. Neither does Texas Governor Greg Abbott. They don't care. They don't care. And the question that everyone should be asking is, well, if they want to gut all these programs and they want to take all the money away from all these programs, where are they taking the money to? Let's give it to the con man. Yeah, he was already taking money. You gotta hear it, because his own nephew said it on MSNBC a couple of weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago. 2-3 weeks ago. Donnie's nephew, he wrote a tell-all book. He said himself, the whole entire family, they never expected Donnie to win. They all figured he was running for president as a way to make money. And then that's why he and his whole family looked so crazy when they came down that golden escalator and he had actually won. Because now they actually had to do stuff. He never thought he was going to win, y'all. None of them thought he was going to win. It was only ever to get some money. He is a con man, okay? And a terrible hustler at that. But let's keep going. Okay, so yes, they're dogging Head Start here. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my place. Right here, yes. So, his first budget tried to cut and undermine Head Start. President Trump's fiscal year 2018 budget claims to demonstrate commitment to early childhood outcomes by continuing to fund Head Start and childcare at historically high levels. In reality, it would cut funding for Head Start, childcare assistance, and after-school childcare. Furthermore, the budget would slash healthcare, nutrition assistance, and other supports that promote health, well-being, and economic security for poor children and families, including those enrolled in Head Start. The president's proposed cuts would undermine Head Start's ability to deliver on quality standards, including robust comprehensive services like preventive health services, developmental screenings, and family support. Decades of research on effective early education programs demonstrate the central role of comprehensive services in advancing poor children's well-being, as well as their success in adulthood. Head Start, in particular, is proven to improve early childhood and young adult outcomes. Two more. Let's talk about taxes real quick. It's short and simple and to the point because they want to hand out tax cuts to the wealthy. That's it. Project 2025, capital gains and qualified dividends should be taxed at 15%, a cut from the current 20%. Capital gains and qualified dividends, stuff that most middle-class people aren't even talking about, okay? Rich people are talking about those things. Capital gains and qualified dividends should be taxed at 15%. Yeah. Thus, the combined corporate income tax combined with the capital gains or qualified dividends tax rate would be roughly equal to the top individual income tax rate. Okay. Yeah. So, the Trump administration aimed to decrease capital gains taxes to 15%, which would decrease federal revenues by nearly $100 billion by 2030. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, is the country's bill collector. They make sure that we have money for things to operate. Okay? So now we're just going to give tax breaks to the wealthiest peeps and make it so that the IRS is taking in $100 billion fewer by 2030? Okay, yeah. Let's see. Back in 2020, so 2019, 2020, President Trump mentioned non-specific intentions to reduce the tax rate on capital gains. In August of 2020, White House National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow confirmed these intentions, citing the aim of a top 15% rate. We estimate the plan would reduce federal revenues by $98.6 billion over the budget window 2021 to 2030. Do y'all know that there's a potential government shutdown weeks away because they are still arguing about the damn budget. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, while the government could be shutting down in a few weeks, just remember that the GOP, they want to give more tax breaks to the wealthiest. The reason why inflation is where it is now is because of the tax breaks that they gave during his first term. That's why everything got so damn expensive. Because for the tax breaks to happen, they needed to start implementing all of these other taxes. So we, the consumers, had to start paying taxes on things that were being imported and exported, things that we weren't already having to pay taxes on. That's why everything got so crazy expensive. Okay? Let's just tell the truth here. So when they talk about taxes, that's what they're really saying. We're going to stick it to everyone who's not rich, and we're just going to help the wealthiest people. And that's why all the billionaires are throwing all their money behind Donnie and the GOP, because they want their tax breaks. Okay? Which is going to make it even more expensive for the rest of us. That is why Biden has been fighting, doing everything in his power to get the inflation down. The inflation was only up because of Donnie. This is why we pay attention. Because all of this is connected. Crazy. I know, y'all. Okay, so that is it on taxes. Let's talk about immigration. And then we're done talking about Donnie for today. Okay? They want, and this is nice and simple too, because Project 2025 wants to deport undocumented immigrants via large-scale raids. Yeah. They want to run up in your house, girl. They want to run up in everybody's house. Let's just let that marinate for a second. Here we go. Project 2025 wants to deport millions of non-citizens via large-scale raids. During a second Trump term, executive authority would be used to deport as many people as possible. Project 2025 calls on Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to expand expedited removal, a speedy deportation process for people apprehended within 100 miles of the border to cover the entire country. So not just within 100 miles of the border, the entire United States. ICE would lose much of its leeway to be able to deem cases administratively closed, as it sometimes does for people it determines aren't a priority for removal. The agency would be required to detain most non-citizens with criminal records and almost entirely eliminate its alternatives to detention program, in which people in deportation proceedings are tracked in lieu of being incarcerated. So they want to lock people up instead of just tracking them while they're still going through their legal proceedings to see if they can become documented. Yeah. Legal immigration would also be curtailed. Several visa categories would be reduced or eliminated altogether, including so-called T and U visas, which are issued to victims of trafficking and other crimes who help police investigate the perpetrators of said crimes. They don't want to save nobody, girl. The Trump administration had a plan to use 100,000 National Guard troops to round up undocumented immigrants in 11 states for deportation. Listen to this. Back in 2017, the White House distanced itself from a Department of Homeland Security draft proposal to use the National Guard to round up unauthorized immigrants But lawmakers said the document offers insight into the Trump administration's internal efforts to enact its promised crackdown on illegal immigration. Administration officials said the proposal, which called for mobilizing up to 100,000 troops in 11 states, was rejected and would not be part of plans to carry out President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration policy. We've only started to scratch the surface on Project 2025. But with all of these blended families in America, with all of the people who have been abused and trafficked, I think it's pretty crummy and pretty crappy that they don't want to do anything to help anyone who needs help. They want to help people who don't actually have struggles, the wealthiest, the straight, caucasoidal, cis males. But if you are a woman, if you are a person of color, there's no room for you here. There's no room for you here. We don't need these women being educated. We don't need these women being independent and making decisions with their bodies, what they can do with their bodies, because they're not going to give us the time of day. And then they're not going to have children, and then we're not going to have a way to control them. And then they're going to be CEOs. They're going to be running companies. They're going to be running the government. They're going to run the country if we're not careful. Look, one of them's running right now, and she wants to be president. Excuse me. Kamala Harris is beyond qualified to hold the office of the presidency, and I would be honored to call her Madam President. Let's go. This whole attack on everybody who is not a caucasoidal, cis, hetero male ain't it. It's not. Because that is not America. Okay? That might be America that was being built on the backs of people who look like me back in 1776, a land that was stolen from people who were already here who also look like me. That may be the America that they want to go back to. I'm not going back. And if you're not going back either, then please make sure that you visit vote.org, that you know your registration status, especially if you live in the South, okay? You need to check on your status. Oh my God, you guys, I read something yesterday. If you live in Texas, you need to check your voter registration status. There are millions of Texas voters who have been put on this list of people who cannot vote. Okay? And they have until like October, some date in October, to get themselves off of the list. I think like 12% of the voting population of Texas has been put on these lists. And it's because Texas has a Republican governor and they pissed off all the women with their abortion laws. And so they know that it is not going to be a red wave in November. Everyone needs to double, triple check their registration status, especially if you live in Texas. If you live in a state with a Republican governor, you need to double, triple check your stuff. I live in Ohio with Governor Mike DeWine. He is a Republican. He sucks. And I will be double, triple checking my registration status. But I will say he has sense enough not to mess with that. But J.D. Vance's ignorant self and a major turncoat is also from Ohio. So we cannot trust a lot of the leadership in Ohio. Make sure that you visit vote.org and that you have your voting plan together. Okay, y'all? I know that I gave you a lot with what we talked about today. This was just connecting Donald Trump to Project 2025. Project 2025 is like 992 pages long. It is their entire manifesto. And Donald Trump is saying that he has no idea where it came from. He doesn't know the people that are working on it. I've already proven to you that, let me go back so I can give you exact numbers. At least 140 people who worked for the Trump administration had a hand in Project 2025. 81% of the authors of Project 2025 are tied directly to Trump. Of the 38 people responsible for writing and editing Project 2025, 31 of them were appointed or nominated to positions in the Trump administration and transition. Okay? We've only scratched the surface with how far this thing goes. But Project 2025, believe it, is Trump's plan for his second term. And your boy doesn't plan on not being president. He plans to do a Putin. He is going to be the last president, essentially. This is why he told the Christians, just vote for him one more time and then they won't have to vote anymore. Okay, he's going to make it right. Like Maya Angelou said, when people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. We need to wake up, we need to pay attention, and that is why I am getting in good trouble Monday through Friday with you beautiful souls, and this is why the replays are available in my app and on my website. Okay? They're also available over on YouTube, but I put some extra bonuses into the program that I created over on my app and my website, okay? Make sure that you are catching up. I know this was a lot today. Normally, we talk about health and wellness stuff. I think that this Project 2025, like, just connecting the dots, connecting it to Donnie, was more than enough to cover. So let's go ahead and let's totally woo freaking saw, because it's been a lot. We'll get back to our health and wellness news. Everything is okay for now. Right now, we need to pay attention a bit more so to the politics. So let's get into our relaxation time, our meditation, because girl, ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. Boy. He better go somewhere. All right, so here we go, y'all. Here we go. Whew, let's get into our meditation now and bring it all the way down. I apologize if I triggered anybody, but we need to know. We have to know what we're up against. This is why this election is so important on every level. Okay? Thank you for hanging tight with me. I know it was a lot today. Whew, let's do it. Let's skip ahead. Let's go straight to relaxation. Today's meditation is a self-compassion visualization. It's called the blanket of love. The blanket of love. The blanket of love, my darling hearts. Let's get into it. Go ahead and get nice and comfy. Relax. Oh, girl. These dudes. And they wonder why they can't get a date. We're on to our relaxation now. Ooh, let's everybody breathe nice and deeply. Okay. All right. I'm probably going to need to hit us with a health update tomorrow. I literally just got a notification about a global health emergency. But right now we're going to woo-saw. We'll cross that bridge tomorrow, okay? All right, lovies. Let me just get this up a little louder. Okay. Take a moment to come to a comfortable seated position. Turning your attention towards your breath and making any adjustments required for comfort. Close your eyes and lower your gaze when you feel ready. Now, gently notice any tension you might be holding in the jaw area. Kindly, without judgment, allow it to seep downwards and into the earth. Notice any tension you might be holding in your neck or shoulders, and see if you can allow that tightness to melt slowly, running down your body and into the ground that can hold and transform it. Noticing any other places within your body where you might be holding or bracing. And grant them permission, even if just for the next short while, to take a break. Release any tension that can be safely and comfortably released. Now, I'd like you to imagine a blanket. This blanket is made from the most beautiful, delightful material you can think of. For some, it might be silk. For others, it might be soft and warm, like fleece. Alternatively, your blanket might be made of flowers, or it might be knit of the softest natural wool. Softest. And then notice what color this blanket is. Whether it's solid or multi-toned. Let it take on whatever color or colors you gravitate towards most. Anything that soothes and comforts you. Now, I'd like you to imagine this blanket draping over you in the most gentle, loving way. And as it touches your body, you realize that this blanket is infused with deep, unquestioning, unconditional love. And now that love is enveloping you. Feel the love that this blanket carries now seeping into every cell, every muscle, every organ, and every thought within your body. No matter how you're feeling or what you're thinking, no matter what emotions you're feeling or what stories you're carrying today, this blanket embraces you. Like sunlight, the warmth penetrates every single part of you. Some areas of your body might naturally receive this love, while others might be resistant. If this is the case, focus on the places where the love enters naturally. And then see if it might gently and slowly expand to other regions. See if you can take in what it feels like to be embraced by this. To bathe in love, kindness, and tenderness unconditionally. If your mind drifts into thoughts, come back to your sense of the blanket. When you feel ready to close this practice, take a moment to tune into your heart, maybe placing your palms there. Offer yourself gratitude for this practice, knowing that it's just that. A practice. Gently let your sense of this blanket dissolve if it hasn't already, knowing that it's available to you anytime, always. It's portable and it doesn't take up space in your handbag or the trunk of your car. Whenever you need it, you can call it forth. Come back to your breath now, and then to your sense of the seat beneath you. And slowly open your eyes when you feel ready. Thank you for practicing today. Beautiful, 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 beautiful work today. All right, my lovey loveys. I know that I gave you a lot to think about with Project 2025. We know for sure that it is connected to Donald Trump. I'm crystal clear on that. For those of you that can comment and are hanging out in the live now, do you now feel that Trump at least knows what Project 2025 is and who's been working on it? Let me know. And if any questions popped up for you, go ahead and send those to me. Melly Mel said he knows. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure we're paying attention. So we did not get to our health and wellness side of things today, and that's okay. This general election is going to impact everyone's health and wellness directly. So in a sense, we did. It was just quite different. Javar said, of course he knows. There we go. All right. Just making sure. Melly Mel said, before the live, I pulled Pegasus of the Emerald Heart. I love that. Yes, that's perfect. Today is Wednesday. It's all about the heart chakra. The colors of the heart chakra are pink and green. So that's perfect. I love it. All right. So tomorrow we are going to get an overview of Agenda 47. We started to mention it a little bit today. Project 2025 is the main plan. That's what the GOP wants to do. That's what Trump wants to do, okay? Because not everyone who identifies as a Republican is part of the MAGA crowd, okay? But the MAGA Republicans, that's what they want to do. Project 2025. Okay? Agenda 47 is Trump's forward-facing policy. So he's distancing himself from Project 2025. He's saying he doesn't know who created it, where it came from, any of that stuff. He agrees with parts of it, doesn't agree with other parts of it. Okay, whatever. We see right through you. Shout out to Unalivement Becomes Her. If you know, you know. So yes, Agenda 47 is what he is putting on his website. That is his political policy for his second Trump term. Okay? So tomorrow we'll take a look at Agenda 47 and how it's not that different from Project 2025. We'll take a look at some, like, again, overview things. And then in the coming weeks, we will actually read through Agenda 47 and Project 2025. So that's what we're doing. Um, I'll see how long tomorrow's is going to be with Agenda 47. That will dictate whether or not we get to the health and wellness segment tomorrow. If not, it's okay. We can get to it the next day. We're good. There is one thing that I do want to share with y'all, which I should be able to share tomorrow at the top of the session. No problem. So yes, if there was anything that you heard today that sparked your curiosity, it gave you some questions, then please, please go ahead. Please go ahead and email those questions to me, because on Fridays, we do a special segment where I actually answer your questions. Okie dokie. So send your questions to, hold on. Girl, that party is partying, huh? Let's turn that down just a little. Okay, there we go. Send your questions to hello@lotuslifewithmc.com. Again, that is hello@lotuslifewithmc.com. You can use the link in my bio also for you hanging out on TikTok. Go to the link in bio. You'll see an envelope icon. You can use that to send me an email. Super easy, okay? And if you're hanging out on YouTube or Twitch, come over into the TikTok room. Use that link that I put in the chat, okay? All right, cool. So we did it. We did it, y'all. We talked about Project 2025 in the sense of connecting it to Donald Trump, because he continues to say it's not his. He doesn't know where it came from. We call spades spades around here. We called complete and utter bull-ya-mean. And yeah, we see right through you, Don. So tomorrow, Agenda 47. Thank you for vibing out. Exactly, Javaris. He said his close people are surrounded by it. How could he not? Thank you. Everybody around you was working on it and you don't know nothing about it. Boy, good and thee bye. And you're taking private flights with people? Yeah, okay. We believe you. We totally do. Everyone have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining me. I do encourage you to catch up on the replays. You can watch those in my app and my website. You can also watch over on YouTube and Twitch, but I recommend that you watch the replays from my app and my website, because that is where I add in a bunch of bonuses, okay? I did upload my delicious gluten-free breakfast cookie recipe. It's available on TikTok for my TikTok live subbies. And if you are not a subby, you can become a subby so that you can participate in the chat, or you can access it through the app. You're looking for Lotus Life Exchange. Okay, look for that program in my app. It's in the programs tab of the app, or on my website. It should be under the Grow. I think it's under the Grow tab. But anyway, you're looking for Lotus Life Exchange. And in there you will find those goodies, and I will continue uploading more bonuses, because we are going to get back to our health and wellness talks. I promise. Thank you so much for contributing to the energy, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Stay safe and amazing, and I'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, somewhere around there. And remember, we moved to our new time, 6 a.m. Eastern, starting Monday, August 19th, okay? But those replays, they will continue to be available to you. I love you, my darlings. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And thank you for lending me your ears. Thank you for listening. I hope that you learned some important things, and we'll do it tomorrow. Yes. See y'all. Peace out. Everybody have a beautiful day. Stay safe and amazing. And don't be afraid to email me. See you tomorrow. Namaste.